Coming up next.
If they're really into it, if they're willing to try, if they're curious, those are attributes that many people have, especially at the beginning of a job. But when you get past that honeymoon stage of working with someone, or hiring and having somebody going, if they're kind or relentless, if they have grit and tenacity and people want to talk to them, that's what's going to make a salesperson stick. And that's what's going to make them successful as they go in their career.
The Job Talk podcast shares stories from people who are passionate and love what they do in their careers. Through conversation, we explore their careers, past work experiences, and the education that got them to where they are now. We are putting together a Career Crisis Ultimate interview series. We are asking experts to give their best advice and guidance around work anxiety, career pressures, career goal setting, and ultimately, career transformation. To learn more about this special interview series and get notified when it's available, please visit our webpage at thejobtalk.com/help. This is the shortened version from our in-depth conversation. Please visit thejobtalk.com to find the full episode.
Today's guest is Scott Sulz. Here's our Job Talk with the Director of Sales. Do you find that it's quite common in your industry that a director of sales learned on the job and didn't necessarily get a post-secondary education?
That's a good question, because I don't walk up to people and say, hey, where's your where's your education? So I really don't know, although I would say that there is definitely a culture of post-secondary education and people pursuing that and then moving on. But there's also a huge part of our culture of people moving from one job to another to move up. Whether it's you're moving from grocery management into sales like I did, or it's someone who's a nutritionist that's really doing a great job with nutritional counseling, but then also wants to become a salesperson. And then the people who refine it and refine it on the job, those are the people that are most successful. They're constantly improving, constantly being curious.
Do you think you could be successful as a salesperson if you didn't believe in the product or service that you were selling?
Oh, man. If you did, you'd hate life. Not really. No. I mean, it's completely different. And when you're in a role where you feel like you can authentically believe in it, you don't have to remember a line or, you refine your pitch and you do all the things that you do to become a good salesperson. But you can talk about it and your experience is real, right? There are brands when I was in distribution that weren't my favorite that I sold. And the thing about that is that if one thing doesn't sell, you can sell another. Here, this is one brand, right? When I was in distribution, we sold hundreds. This is one brand. And in order for me to be successful with one brand, yes, you have to like it and definitely be passionate about it for it to work. Absolutely. Because people are busy, man. You go talk to them and it's like, oh, I got 5 minutes to talk to you. Okay, well, I'm not going to waste your time talking about a product that's not going to excite you, right? Yeah. I want them to understand that what's possible with this brand, and you can't express that if you're not passionate and don't actually believe in it.
When somebody applies to become a salesperson for you, what do you look for in that person? Like in an interview, what kind of advice could you give to somebody applying to your company to become a salesperson for you?
Yeah. You know what I look for? Grit, tenacity, and kindness. So people, if you believe in the brand and you believe in the product, you can see it. You can tell if somebody's authentic, usually, especially during a first little period of time of working with somebody. If they're really into it, if they're willing to try, if they're curious, those are attributes that many people have, especially at the beginning of a job. But when you get past that honeymoon stage of working with someone or hiring and having somebody going, if they're kind or relentless, if they have grit and tenacity and people want to talk to them, that's what's going to make a salesperson stick. And that's what's going to make them successful as they go in their career. There are people who are too heavy on grit and they annoy people. And there are people who lean too much on the kindness side of it and they never close or rarely do. But when you mix that together and you can try to ask questions in an interview when you're hiring somebody to find that out and get them to talk about situations that they were in, usually those people are the ones that I've seen become stars.
What do you love about your career?
I told you I'm a super fan of this brand. So I kind of have a bit of an advantage in the fact that I really love the product. I don't ever get sick and tired of eating this chocolate. It's amazing. So every day I get up and I get to sell a brand that I love, right? Working in distribution where we sold so many different other items. Some of them are ones that you're passionate about. Some you just don't really know too much about because it's just, there's so many things to sell. And I love distribution. It was fantastic. And that grew me into the person I am today. So I'm not saying anything negative about that at all. I loved those organizations. But you know, who I get to work with, the items that I sell, and to work across Canada, I love it. It's really awesome to be able to go to Quebec. I need to learn French. I am not good at all. But you know, to get outside the city with our friends and that take me there, and they speak very little English, but we're connecting over delicious chocolate. Like, it's simple, and I can make a career out of promoting chocolate and have it sustainable. And then also we're local. I get to go see where everything's made, and I get to go represent for that company. I'm very lucky in that of all the salespeople and brokers and whatnot, I'm the one that lives the closest, so that I can go and see it. And it gives me a sense of pride that I can go represent that.
Thank you for tuning in to the Job Talk podcast. For more information, please visit us at thejobtalk.com. Our podcast music was created by our friend Mike Malone in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.